teacher, student, to be able um, to practice how to use Moodle, because everyone get used with the Google Classroom and just don't want to switch to this new technology. So I think the key is that we need to keep encourage, keep practicing, keep do some workshop training for teacher or students. So when they get used to it, it won't be any problem.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Bu Adrian. So, what I received from your sharing is that we need to have more repetition to
Yes.
really change the closed-minded thing to be like more open-minded. Do you think you have any like interesting strategy that you think will work, always work to change this kind of mindset? To Adrian.
Well, actually, the one who is responsible for this kind of e-learning platform is just like the vice rector for academic affairs. So here we already make after, because we already held like 2 or 3 times for the Moodle training, right? And I think the progress is slow. So finally, we make decision that everyone should move to Moodle from next semester.
Oh,
So we make it as regulation to push the teacher and student to use this platform.
okay. How about maybe from Bu Aning or Bu Vela? Do you have any opinion or ideas of strategies to do this?
Okay, I think there are three important things to make sure that this, how to say, new, not really new technology, yeah, but the changing of paradigms can be well accepted and well adopted. I think the first, the key is communications. I think there's no other words or other important things than communication. And I have to admit that it's not easy to communicate what we think, what our next strategy is, yeah, because we have quite diverse lecturers, from the most seniors one to the most youngest one. And the generation gaps, we do feel that there is a difference in terms of how to communicate with the most seniors one and the most youngest one. And as I think Bu Cecil mentioned that the youngest or the younger generations are more agile, more how to say, easy to adapt, easy to change. But the most seniors one, we have to admit that it's a little bit challenge. There's a lot of challenges in doing so. But what we do here, well, thankfully we have a center. We have what we call it Education Study Development Center. It's and we have an e-learning team. It's under that center that provide trainings, workshop, and assistance to everyone in the university, from lecturers, from students, etc., since the beginning of the pandemic stages. So in the beginning, well, we have to admit that it's not as easy as we thought, but since April 2020, we can say that 75% of our lecturers already moved to Moodle-based system, but because we forced them to do so. And since August 2020, I would like to say that maybe 98%, lecturers already moved to Moodles, and now 100% using a Moodle-based system. We have behind. So lots of trainings, lots of workshops and assistance as well. And it's from the university level and then comes down to the faculty or even departments level. And even we provide, how to say, personal assistance. So in terms of in every department, we have what we call it a task force, a small task force in every department in terms of this e-learning system, facing difficulties in doing their e-learning system or in using Moodle or in whatever the Zoom things. Even Zoom, we thought that is easy and user-friendly, right? But to some people, it's not as easy as others, yeah. So in those kind of things, we provide all assistance, and we try to, we try to understand that everyone needs are important to be addressed. I think that's my opinion, Maylana. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Aning. How about you, Bu Fela?
Yeah, I think I agree with Bu Aning that communications and discussion is very important in technology adoptions. Yeah, during the pandemic, I think we communicate a lot when we moved online, and we discuss with all the lecture and the staff how we use the technology, because some maybe like Bu Melanie said that in De La Salle, for example, maybe the lecture get used to use Google Meeting, and they doesn't want to use other technology. In this case, yeah, in Atmajaya, we provide flexibility in the use of learning technology. Although we have the main platform for used in learning process, but we also discuss about other technology that maybe at that time the lecture prefer to use it, maybe because because of their skill. So we allowed, rather than they don't use it and then the learning or the class doesn't run as well. So yeah, we discuss, but we also give training. I mean, because maybe at the beginning of the pandemic, during March to May, that's the critical months when maybe not everyone ready using the technology. But after several months for training, for discussions, and I think our platform Moodle and also the Microsoft Teams, I think they are used 100%. And this semester we also try to use the hybrid learning. This is also new for our community. So we also conduct training how to use the equipment, how to conduct the class, and also most importantly how to measure the learning process, so the quality will be as good as it get used. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, so I gather communication and discussion is very important, yeah, Cecil.
May I add something, Ibu May?
Yes, please.
Okay, so in addition to the communication, I think we should add more nuance to that communication. What should we communicate? I think we should communicate the advantage and the positive side of the tools of the digital technology that we use. And sometimes when we do have new technology tools or digital technology, we, sometimes we see only, the complexity of the use of technology. We see the complexity, not the positive or the advantage of, when we use the technology. And so I think we should communicate the users to the users, like how should we use this technology, and what is the function of this feature, and how do these features help teachers to improve education. I think that's one of my second thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Cecil. So, what I gathered is communication and discussion is important, right? And some flexibility. Maybe we cannot really do very hard on our teachers, and also we need to have some kind of assistance for them. And I really like when I think Bufela said, Bufela Planning, you said everyone is important. So we need to be patient and really, gathered everyone as one thing, yeah, together working as one. Okay, so I believe everyone agree that this teaching learning shift mode is not easy, not only for education, but also for research and community service. But we can change as long as we have the learner spirit, right? So maybe from Bu Adrian and Bu Vela, what are the most challenging leadership aspect for the learning and teaching process during the pandemic in your institution? Maybe we already hear some here and there, but maybe you can add something to it, and you can share with us what is really challenging during this time.
Okay. Thank you. I think the most challenging leadership aspect for this learning and teaching process during the pandemic is the ability to apply the knowledge or the competence and the adaptability to the new technology. But we have discussed all these things before, so I think I want to share our experience here. The challenging things is about the infrastructure actually and the facilities that support the learning process itself. Like in here, when it's heavy rain, suddenly there will be a blackout, electricity blackout. So I was panicking before because it's just about like 15 minutes before this panel session begin, and then suddenly blackout. So it's very common in here to black out, and also the internet coverage in here also is not as good maybe as in Java. uh, just for example, in my home just like 3 kilometers from the main road. However, I don't have a proper internet connection at my home because we only have like one provider, and we need to have like the external, how to say, to put your modem outside. It's very difficult to get the stable, good internet connection. So when I want to teach, I need to go to the next village or go to the downtown to my relative house and use their connection, their internet connection. So maybe in Java it's easy because these things won't be a problem. But for us in here in the east side, this is very common problem. Like when you teach, suddenly your student will text you and say, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, it suddenly black out." Or suddenly, when you ask your student to open the camera, you will see he stand on top of the mountain or in the seesaw or something like that. Because most of our students now they go back to their hometown, which is not inside Manado, it's outside the Iceland. And in there also the same problem occurs that internet connection is one of the biggest problem beside the electricity. I think that's sharing for me from the problem that we used to encounter from the east side of Indonesia. I hope that in the future that this thing won't be a problem anymore for us.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. How about Bufela?
Yeah, I think the most challenging leadership aspect is one is the creativity, creativity and flexibility. Sometimes when we decide or there is policy from the university in technology adoption or maybe preparing how the semester will run, suddenly maybe the external conditions limit the policy. I mean, it cannot be applied during the semester. So all what we already prepare then suddenly have to change to another scenario. This is one thing that sometimes, we have to flexible and maybe creative to try to another way, how to, the most important is how to give a service to our students in the learning process or maybe in other activity. And also, I think passion is also important because there is digital skills gaps among students and also among the staff. Our students came from many different areas in Indonesia, and sometimes they came from a remote area that may be very difficult to access the internet. So when we run the class, and like Bu Melanie said, they say that they cannot access the internet. So we have maybe tried to another way, maybe not using our platform, but maybe asking them how to maybe finish the task and how they can submit, etc. It is important that we still keep connect to our students so they don't left behind. And then the third is the rapid development of technology used for learning process and other activities. And their implementation is different, maybe in one courses to another courses, one study program and to another study program. And I think it is important that to collaborate among the study program, maybe different study program in using technology. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Vela. Well, we still have time, so how about we also tackle about technology adoption for research and community service? I remember Bu Aning said that it's not only about teaching learning for this education. Bu Aning, can you elaborate more about how we can be a leader in this area for research and community service?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So, as we know, during the pandemic, the government cut quite some budget for research. Yeah, the research national program. So, in 2020, lots of research are, how to say, stop or postponed for a while. And in that matter, what we did was we set another budget. So we try to reallocate the budget that used for others to for research in order to make sure that the research could be done, even though the government's funding is not yet obtained. So in that case, one of the strategy that we did for research and also for the community service affairs, because some funding are also from the government, and due to the pandemic, they have a budget cut. So internally, we have to make a strategy to make sure that those kind of programs could be done. As for the community service affair itself, normally we came physically to the places that we are going to perform our services. But due to the pandemic, there's another challenge as well, because in our university, we have policy that we cannot go or we cannot travel to other town to certain without any how to say urgent issues or emergency issues. So those kind of things are also one of the challenge that we have to face during the pandemic. And but with the technology, some of those problems could be overcome. For example, that we try to reform the model of doing community service to, how to say, virtually community service program. So normally, probably we came to the places and give assistance, give a workshop and trainings physically to be there. But then due to the pandemic, we have to change the model into a virtual workshop, virtual trainings and something like that. So at least that we still have, we still can perform something, we still can make some impacts to the community. Yeah, thank you, Meliana.
Thank you, Bu Aning. How about Bu Sisil? Bu Sisil, can you also share your experience in this matter?
Okay, I think this pandemic and this our inability to meet students directly opens up more opportunities for us to create something and using digital technology to create something. For example, I know that in some countries they have innovations related to laboratory, for example, and you know how students can experiment from their home and do research using the lab from home. They can do it, and I think there are a lot of people or some institutions are doing it. Okay. In terms in Unika and as Sugiyo Pranoto Catholic University, I know that some of us receive grants. In terms of creating innovations related to education, related to tools or applications that students can use. Okay, for example, this year I have research grant from the United Board to create augmented reality that students can use to learn about digital citizenship. And then I know that in some faculty members receive grants from the United Board to create educational game board that students can use. So I think this pandemic and then our inability to meet, that creates a lot of opportunities for us to innovate, to create innovations that students can use wherever they are. And then, and in turn can help them, to improve their learning outcomes, and also to make or to improve the teaching quality. I think that's my thing.
Okay, thank you, Bu Sisil. Well, there are several comments also in the chats. Thank you. Sorry, we cannot really read all of your opinion, but it's quite interesting because, overall, we and also the comments in chat enforce that training this is important, right? And also patience and also assistance, teaching each other, so working together. And also the last one is about experience to the experiments at home. So it's not only Sisil, I believe also most teachers from other institutions probably do the same, because we really need to think about the strategy. How can we still do this research in this era? So thank you. I guess this panel really has enforced several things in leadership in technology adoption. Like communication is key. We need strategy to have more open-minded and also incorporate technology competence, not only for students, but also teachers and staff. Right. So on that note, I think thank you for the panelists and also the listeners in this panel discussion for the conversation. I believe this discussion can inspire and also motivate us to be more open-minded and don't give up. We can still have a very good education even in this pandemic era because human actually is very agile and can adapt in any challenges, right? Okay, thank you. See you. Stay healthy.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you,
everyone.
Bu Mei,
Thank you, everyone.
Bu Aning, Bu Fela,
Yeah,
Bu
thank
Melanie.
you.
Okay, test. You can start.
Okay, sorry. We thank you, the panel members, for their enlightening discussion and for bringing us some insights on the importance of leadership in our adoption of technology.
And Irene, we are happy to see 5 great female
Yes.
speakers, yeah,
Yes,
panelists, and then
yes.
they inspire us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the panel discussion just ends the first day of our 16th e-learning forum Asia 2021. And as a sweet reminder for all of us, our second day tomorrow will be started around 8:30, and the menus for tomorrow. First, we are going to have keynote talks by Professor Albert Chow from Hong Kong Baptist University on digital transformation in learning and teaching, opportunities and challenges. The second keynote talk by Professor Budi Vidyanarko from Sugiyapura Pranoto Catholic University on preserving the teacher within in virtual learning environment. And then we are going to have 3 parallel sessions, 1 panel discussions with the topic on hybrid learning, challenges and support, and 1 plenary session by Professor Ridwan Sanjaya, also from SU, on modest augmented reality technology for education.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Retang, for the reminder. For today, we thank you for all of your participation. We have done great, and let's call today a day. God bless us all, and stay sound and safe. See you,
And see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Recording stopped.